In December of 2017, the U.S. Forest Service and the Bureau of Land Management signed an agreement to allow a group of ranchers in Rich County to consolidate their individual grazing allotments into one large allotment they'll equally share. The net result, they hope, will be to improve the range, wildlife habitat, watershed, and grazing capacity by moving cows and sheep across the land at a faster pace, giving the land more time to rest than a typical summer-winter grazing arrangement. It's a management plan that has yielded big results for neighboring cattle giant Deseret Land and Livestock. The combined allotments kind of work like a deeded timeshare resort condominium. Each allotment holder still has their share of ownership, but is also a share of an undivided whole instead of individual leases. The larger aggregate acres will allow grazing for a shorter period of time using smaller percentages of the forage on the ground, leaving more forage intact to regrow. It also has less impact on individual water sources and leaves more food and cover for the wildlife while the cows and sheep are away. Based on Deseret's experience, the ranchers should be able to increase the number of animals on the ground, increasing herd size for the allotment holders, while increasing deer and elk populations, sage grouse numbers, and water quality across the board. But with all of that upside, there's a downside too. The cows are going to have to go back to school, along with the deer, elk, and the ranchers. Well, let me explain. At first, herds of livestock will likely be stressed as they have to move around more and learn new grazing patterns. No doubt the ranchers will have to work harder to keep the herds on the move, and wildlife have to learn a different pattern of sharing the resources. It will also require more scientific planning and a much more complicated grazing calendar. The idea of it all is to get cattle and sheep to graze more like nomadic herds of buffalo or antelope. It will take an investment in the land and learning curve for the ranchers, cattle, and wildlife to learn how to navigate that new system. But water resource managers, wildlife managers, land and range managers all have faith that it'll work. Chad will be back to discuss how that project came to be and what needs to be done to get it up and running. For the county seat, I'm Joe Davis.